Merhaba arkadaşlar. Welcome to the recitation for Chapter 5. And our main concept in Chapter 5 is the elasticity. I again assume that you read the book and the slides, so I will just go through the intuition behind the equations. Our first equation is the elasticity of demand and supply. It's founded by the percentage change in quantity demanded over percentage change in price. And I will use this midpoint method for solving questions, and I suggest that you already memorize this equation, and it's the same thing. These are the same thing. You can find it by expanding this to this. So what's the inelastic demand? If the elasticity of demand is less than 1, it means that this good is inelastic. What inelastic means is that if there is a, let's say, 1% increase in price, the quantity demanded will decrease less than 1%. So the consumers will react mildly. So the consumers of inelastic goods are not reacting very much to the change in the prices. If the good is elastic, the elasticity of demand will be greater than 1, which means that if there is an increase in price by 1%, quantity demanded will decrease more than 1%. In this case, the consumers are reacting to price severely. So if there is a price increase, the consumers will not buy that item. The quantity demanded will decrease very much. If a good is unit elastic, that means that a increase in the price by 1% will decrease the quantity demanded by the same amount by 1%. So what's perfect or infinite elasticity? It means that quantity demanded or quantity supplied changes indefinitely. So if there is a change in price, like if there is an increase in price, then quantity demanded will be 0. If there is an even slightly change in the price, all the consumers will give up buying that item. That's the perfect elasticity. And if our case is 0 elasticity, that means that demand and supply is constant. Think of the medical drugs. If a person can't live without a drug, the price of drug doesn't matter to him because he can't live otherwise. So in that case, he has 0 elasticity because he has to buy the drug. So the price change will not affect him. And there is a last formula, which is the cross price elasticity of demand. And the formula is given by the percentage change of quantity demanded of good A over percentage change of price of good B. And I will go deeply to the intuitions behind them when we go into the questions. So I forgot to mention the income elasticity of demand. Well, income elasticity of demand is the change in the percentage change in the quantity demanded over the percentage change in income. And also you can't convert it in the midpoint method, as we will see in the questions. Also, I forgot to mention that the quantity elasticity of supply is the same with the quantity demanded. We just substitute quantity demanded with the quantity supplied. So the formula for the elasticity of demand and supply are the same. Okay, let's start with our first question. It says that firm R produces helicopters and planes. See each scenario and decide if the price elasticity of demand will rise, decrease, or stay constant. In the part A, it says that the firm M, another firm, enters the market and decides to produce planes. Now, remember our discussion of price elasticity of demand. It measures the customer's reaction when there is a price change. If customers react severely to price change, that means they have other choices, and that will increase the elasticity. If the customers have less and less options, like the medical drugs, their elasticity will decrease. So, what happens when another firm enters the market? It makes customers now have more choices to buy. So if firm R increases their price, customers can now buy customers can buy planes produced in the firm M. So the price elasticity of demand for planes in the firm R will increase since now customers have more options. In the B part, it says that planes produced outside Turkey are banned. Again, think of the options. When government bans planes produced outside the Turkey, customers in Turkey have less option. So when firm R decides to increase their price, customers will not have as option as before. So their elasticity of demand for planes are decreasing. The period which you measure elasticity is longer. During that period, new models are introduced to market. So when new models are introduced to the market, that means you have more choices as the time passes. So as time goes by, you will have more options and you can substitute if firm R decides to increase price. So the elasticity will increase for both planes and helicopters. Due to the advertisements, Turkish people believe that helicopters are safer than planes. So in this case, now planes are seen as less substitute than helicopters. So helicopters, people who want to buy helicopters will affect lesser if there's a price increase. So since people think helicopters are safer, they think that price increase are actually worth it. So the price elasticity of helicopters will decrease for helicopters. And the price elasticity of planes will increase. Okay, let's continue with the second question. In the second question, we are given a table and different allocations. And as you can see, as the price of which increases, the quantity demanded decreases. There is two tables of quantity demanded because one of them is quantity demanded when income is 20,000 liras and other is quantity demanded when average income is 30,000 liras. So since there was a problem in recording, I already solved the questions, but we'll go one by one. In the part A, it says, what's the price elasticity of demand when price of fridge rises from 5 to 6 and income is 20,000 liras? So when income is 20,000 liras, we have to look at this part. When finding price elasticity of demand, I will use the midpoint formula, as you can remember in the first part. This is the midpoint method. So the percentage change in the quantity demanded can be found as the change in the quantity over average quantity times 100. So what's the change in the quantity when price rises from 5 to 6? It goes from here to here. So the quantity demanded is after the price change, quantity demanded is this. And we have to subtract it from the initial point, this. This is the change in the quantity demanded over the average quantity demanded. What's the average quantity demanded? We have to sum these up and divide by 2. And we multiply it by 100 since we want to find the percentage. It equals negative 40%. So what we found here, we found the top part of the equation. Now we have to find this. We have to find the change in the price over average price times 100. What's the change in the price? We went from 5 to 6, so there is a 1 lira increase. Change is 1. And the average price is this, as you can see. We multiply it by 100 and it equals to 18.2%. And what we done here, we found here. The only thing left is the division. And notice that I left a minus sign because when finding elasticities, we get the absolute terms, so the minus sign is irrelevant here. When division happens, it equals to 2.2. What can you say about this elasticity? We can say that it's elastic because the elasticity of demand is bigger than 1. So that was the first part. Let's go to the second part now. It says that what's the income elasticity of demand when price of reaches 4 and income increases from 20,000 liras to 30,000 liras. So the price is fixed, it's 4, but the changing thing is the income. We go from here to here. And as you can, if you can remember the formula of income elasticity, it's the same thing, except the price doesn't change and income change. So we put income, change in income over average income times 100 instead of the price. So again, let's find the top part, change in the quantity demand. Okay, let's find the top part of the division, as I was saying. The top part is asking us change in the quantity demanded over the average quantity. What's the change in the quantity demanded? When our income rises from here to here, there is a 2,000 units of increase. So we find in here, what's the average quantity? We sum this up and divide by 2 times 100. At the below, instead of price, we use the income, change in the income over average income. What's the change in the income? It's this, 10,000 over the average income times 100 equals to 40%. When we divide these, it equals to 1.25, which is the income elasticity of demand. Okay, in question 3, it says decide if the elasticity of supply perfectly elastic, perfectly inelastic, elastic, or inelastic in the short run. In part A, it says that there is an increase in demand for a specific hotel room. And I draw the graph here. First to think the meaning of the elasticity of supply. Elasticity of supply measures the reaction of suppliers of price change. So if there is a price change and suppliers increase their supply, that means they are reacting to this price change. And think of this case. If there is an increase in demand, can the managers of hotel increase the room numbers? No, they cannot, because building rooms takes time and they cannot build extra rooms when there is an increase in demand in short run. So the supply of rooms are fixed. You cannot increase the number of rooms. So if there is an increase in demand, as you can see, there is an increase in demand, a rightward shift of the demand curve, price increases, but supply doesn't change because, as I said, you cannot increase the room number. So what can we say about this curve? It's perfectly inelastic because suppliers doesn't react to price change at all. In the second part, it says less people want to fly because of Corona. The airlines cancel about 10% of their flights as ticket prices fall about 20%. Now can we actually in this part we can find the numerical answer for the elasticity. Remember, elasticity of supply is the percentage change in quantity supplied over percentage change in the price. What's the percentage change in quantity supplied? It's -10 over, what's the change in the percentage change in the price? -20%. And when we divide them, it equals to 1 over 2. And since it is less than 1, this is an inelastic curve. So the supply must be inelastic. I drew it here. Inelastic curves have higher slopes because, as you can see here, its slope is infinite and it's perfectly inelastic. So if a curve is inelastic, its slope is high. So there is an high supply curve. And what happens to demand? Demand decreases. Demand was here and demand shifted leftwards, and price, what happens to price? Price decreases as a result of the decrease in quantity. In the question 4, it says that the firm E sells games and wants to maximize total revenue. A strategy is to make a 10% discount on every game so that the customers can be divided in two groups according to their demand curves and reaction to the discounts. So group A reacts to discount by going from this quantity, buying this quantity to this quantity, and group B reacts to discount by going to this from this quantity to this quantity. In the part A, it says the compute price elasticity of demand for group A and B. Again, we have to use midpoint method. So first, let's find the elasticity for group A. We have to find the change in the quantity demanded. What's the change in the quantity demanded? It's this after the price change. And I'm just writing it. Over the average quantity demanded, and it's this over 2 times 100 gives us the percentage change in quantity demanded, which is 6.25%. Over, now we have to find the change in the percentage change in the price, and it actually gives us the 10% discount, so we don't need to use the midpoint method because we know the percentage change in price. It's 10%. So the only thing left is to divide them, and it becomes 0.625. This is the elasticity of group A. What can you say about their elasticity? They are inelastic because their elasticity is less than 1. Let's find the elasticity for group B. What's the change in quantity demanded for them? It's 1.6 minus 1.5 over the average quantity demanded, which is this, times 100 gives us the percentage change in quantity demanded, which is 12.5% over 10% because the change in the price is same. So what we get from here is 1.25. What can you say about their elasticity? Their elasticity is elastic because it's more than 1. Okay, in the B part it says explain how discounts affect total revenue. For group A, since the price elasticity of demand is inelastic, total revenue will decrease as a result of the discount. Why? Again, remember the meaning of the elasticity. Elasticity computes the customer's reaction when there is a change in the price. In our case, there is a decrease in the price. So, in this case, what can we say about group B? Group B doesn't react much to this discount. So we shouldn't make discounts for them because they don't care about the discount. They're inelastic. What can we say about group B? For group B, since the price elasticity of demand is elastic, it's bigger than 1, the total revenue will increase as a result of the discount. What this says us is that they're elastic, so they will react to discount. They will react by buying more goods. So total revenue will increase. Türkçesi de sürümden kazanmaktır. Eğer bir grup elastik olursa, fiyat düşmesine çok tepki verirlerse, fiyat düşmesi daha karlı olur. Bu durumda fiyat düşmesi karlı değil, çünkü çok tepki vermiyorlar. Bu durumda çok tepki verdikleri için burada sürümden kazanırız. So if firm E wants to increase total revenue, it should definitely not offer the discount to group A, and it should definitely offer the discount to group B, because group B reacts to discount, but group A doesn't. This is the end of the recitation. If you have any questions, you can email me or ask it in the comment section.